can't. I just think Conor Benn's going to win. Too young, too fresh. Although, listen, Eubank, it took a lot for him to come back after getting viciously knocked out by Liam Smith, to come back and beat Liam Smith.
Backing Conor Benn, I know Conor, spoke to him a few times, always been a top bloke to me. His dad's a top bloke, his dad's a legend, and I'll be backing him, but it's going to be difficult, as he's already alluded to, the two weight divisions coming up, but it'll also be difficult for Eubank to stay within that hydration clause, I think it is, so it's all to play for both.
Very tough fight for Conor. Not saying he can't win it, because one big left hook can change anything. But to me, his best chance are to try to land a big shot. If that don't happen, or if he lands it and it don't hurt Chris, then it's going to be pretty rough for him, because Chris is definitely an improvement.
Teddy Atlas didn't hold back when analyzing the highly anticipated showdown between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, delivering a bold prediction. According to Atlas, Eubank Jr.'s success will depend on his lightning-fast hands and ability to control the distance. His counterpunching precision is at its best when he has space to move, allowing his skills to shine. On the other hand, Benn's strategy is built around relentless pressure. He will look to close the gap quickly, suffocating Eubank Jr.'s movement and forcing him into exchanges he would rather avoid. Benn's game plan revolves around disrupting Eubank Jr.'s rhythm, making it difficult for him to land his shots with efficiency. The key question is whether Eubank Jr. can maintain his distance and execute his strategy, or if Benn's
Eubank's, wants to probably keep it on the outside as much as he can and use his skill sets to, use his hand speed and his ability to throw counter punches and, punches from different angles. He needs space, or space accommodates him pretty well and favors him pretty well when he has that space to do that. And I would think that Ben would like to take that space away, like to kind of work his way in and maybe go to the body like a better BF with a Bevo, take the legs away.
Relentless aggression will break through and shift the fight in his favor. Atlas praised Eubank Jr.'s ability to control range when he is focused, emphasizing his sharp boxing skills when he is in the right mindset. He also highlighted Benn's blend of aggression and disciplined defense, noting that their contrasting styles create an exciting and unpredictable fight.
The ability of Eubanks when he's right, when his focus is there, when he's right, to be able to do things in a boxing way on the outside. And I love Ben's style and his approach. I do, where, being aggressive in a responsible way, in a way a fighter should be, with paying attention to, doing it with defense, a responsibility of defense, and, just proper way to engage somebody, but the consistent offense looking to engage.
Guigan, however, favors Benn in the upcoming clash. He pointed to Eubank Jr.'s compromised durability following his knockout loss to Liam Smith. While acknowledging Eubank Jr.'s toughness and size advantage, McGuigan believes Benn's speed and power will be the decisive factors. He argued that Benn hits harder than Smith, which could expose weaknesses in Eubank Jr.'s defense. Additionally, McGuigan emphasized Benn's ability to close the distance and land explosive shots, putting Eubank Jr. under constant pressure and making it difficult for him to control the pace of the fight. Meanwhile, Gareth A. Davies stated that the fight has never been bigger, especially in the wake of Benn's drug test controversy. She expects Benn to come out aggressively, fueled by...
It's a great fight. I would pick Benn at the minute, simply because Eubank was cracked by Liam Smith, and he was never cracked before, and it's a summary for me. He had a great chin up to then, and then he was knocked out, and it's never quite the same again. I think Benn is a more explosive fighter than Liam Smith. He's faster. He punches hard, but then, good big one will always beat a good little one, all those cliches. But I just think I would give Ben the edge. But,
frustration, but believes Eubank Jr.'s experience against tougher opponents will give him the edge. Despite Eubank Jr.'s age and the knockout loss to Smith, Davies predicts he will secure a victory on points. She argued that his ability to withstand pressure, combined with superior ring craft, will allow him to navigate through Benn's early onslaught and ultimately claim a decision win. With experts divided, the fight promises to be an intense and high-stakes battle. Will Benn's power and relentless aggression overpower Eubank Jr., or will Eubank Jr.'s resilience and boxing IQ lead him to victory?
Yeah, well, it's bigger than it ever was. It's 3 times bigger than it was before the 2 positive clomiphene tests. Benn's dangerous early in that fight, in my view, because he's coming with all that stinging venom and kind of pent-up aggression that he's developed over the last 2.5 years. But I think Eubank's fought the better level of opponents, even though he's aged 2.5 years and he's been knocked out by Liam Smith.
Drop your predictions in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more explosive boxing breakdowns. Davis highlighted the excitement surrounding the build-up to the fight, with Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. adding emotional drama to the rivalry. He emphasized the fight's significance in British boxing history, making it a must-watch, especially for those who witnessed the original Benn versus Eubank battles. The clash between their sons has reignited old passions and created a compelling storyline, further fueling anticipation. According to Dave,
I'm looking forward to the build-up once they get the fathers involved. April the 26th, Nigel and Conor are both emotional, and Chris both play the villain, don't they?
Okay.
Even though I think in this one, Eubank Jr. is going to be able to sit back a little bit. Yeah, some people are saying that they don't think the fight means anything, but I think the bloodline in British sport.
Any man in the UK who's watched the dads fight.
The legendary status of these fighters only raises the stakes, promising an unforgettable spectacle for both longtime and new boxing fans. Eddie Hearn backed the Benn versus Eubank Jr. matchup, calling it an evenly balanced contest between 2 top fighters. He dismissed claims of a mismatch, emphasizing the iconic feud between their fathers and pointing out how the rivalry between their sons has now become the most intense in British boxing. Hearn believes the personal history between the families adds a unique...
The circuses and what you're a fool to buy into. It's a really good fight. It's a 50-50 fight between 2 guys that are world ranked in their division. I mean, he's making out like neither of them have ever boxed before. They're both used to this. It's a mismatch. It's not. It's a 50-50 fight between 2 world-ranked fighters who, by the way, fathers happen to be Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank, who had the biggest rivalry ever in British boxing, and, by the way, whose sons now have, by far, the biggest rivalry in British
layer of intensity, making the bout more than just a clash of athletes. It's a battle of legacies. This elevates the fight beyond excitement, cementing its importance in British boxing history. Sam Jones is confident that Conor Benn will emerge victorious, citing his youth and boundless energy as key advantages. He believes Benn's stamina and hunger to prove himself will be crucial in securing the win. Meanwhile, Jones acknowledged Eubank's resilience after his brutal knockout loss to Liam Smith, noting that
I just think Conor Benn's going to win. Too young, too fresh, and although, listen, Eubank, it took a lot for him to come back after getting viciously knocked out by Liam Smith, to come back and beat Liam Smith.
That he managed to bounce back and defeat Smith in their rematch, proving his ability to recover and fight through adversity. Despite this, Jones remains firm in his belief that Benn's youth will be the decisive factor in determining the outcome of the fight. Liam Smith, Sam Jones believes the timing of this fight is perfect for Conor Benn and confidently favors him to secure the win. While he acknowledges Chris Eubank Jr.'s impressive skill and potential, Jones feels that Eubank could have been a much bigger star with the right promotion and back.
I just think the fight's happening at the right time for Conor Benn. I think the fight's happening at the right time, and I favour Conor Benn in the fight.
Yeah.
I think Eubank Jr. is good for boxing. Genuinely, I think Chris Jr. is good for boxing. I think that if he was promoted by a Frank Warren or an Eddie Hearn back in the day when he turned pro, he would be an even bigger star than what he is now because of how he is. He's He's funny, like he's mildly, he's quite funny, isn't he, Eubanks Jr.? He speaks well. But yeah, I think he's good for boxing, but I just think Conor Benn's going to chin him.
Despite praising Eubank's personality and appeal in the sport, Jones predicts that Benn will rise to the occasion and deliver a knockout victory. He believes Benn's hunger, youth, and perfect timing will ultimately overpower Eubank Jr., making this an unforgettable showdown with Benn securing the win. Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back in his assessment, stating that Conor Benn has a mountain to climb against Eubank Jr. However, he emphasized that if there's one punch that could change the fight, it's Benn's devastating left hook. Jones made it clear that if Benn can't land...
Very tough fight for Conor. Not saying he can't win it because one big left hook could change anything. But to me, his best chance are to try to land a big shot. If that don't happen, or if he lands it and it don't hurt Chris, then it's going to be pretty rough for him because Chris is definitely an improved fighter. You understand me? And like, even the stuff he's doing now, he's going to continue to get better. But I think when he came down there with me for that year, it improved his foundation. You understand me? So it made him a better fighter. So he's going to be hard to beat for anybody, especially a guy that's smaller than him. But we saw Liam Smith pull off the upset at one time. So I know that gave Ben much more hope that he could probably do the same. So it's going to be a great fight. Both fighters are great fighters. I love both of them. I think Chris is a little bigger and has the advantage because he's bigger, but it's going to be a great fight.
You know what, a lot of people are talking about it, Roy, you know about cutting weight and whatnot. A lot of people are talking about Chris Eubank Jr. now being at 160 and maybe being tight at that weight now, but the rehydration clause, £10, I'm saying, listen, with a £10 rehydration clause in it, that won't affect him at all.
That won't affect him at all, but I don't really think Chris was big on rehydrating anyway, so I don't think he's going to get that big, you know what I mean? He might, but I don't think 10 pounds bothers him at all.
Fast forward for another light heavyweight contest going, Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol, February the 20th.
And something big early, he's in for a long night. The longer the fight drags on, the more it swings in Eubank's favor. After a full year of refining his game under Jones's guidance, Eubank has transformed into a smarter, more calculated fighter. This clash isn't just about power, it's about strategy. Benn's relentless aggression versus Eubank's refined technique. In the end, experience might be the deciding factor. Roy Jones Jr. also acknowledged Benn's undeniable determination, especially after his setback.
He's going to be hard to beat for anybody, especially a guy that's smaller than him. But we saw Liam Smith pull off the upset at one time, so I know that gave Ben much more hope that he could probably do the same. So it's going to be a great fight. Both fighters are great fighters. I love both of them. I think Chris is a little bigger and has the advantage because he's bigger, but it's going to be a great fight.
Against Liam Smith, a loss that could fuel his hunger to prove himself. However, he pointed out the clear physical advantages Eubank Jr. holds, including size and reach. Over the years, Eubank has evolved into a more complete fighter, refining his skills and sharpening his technique. While Benn's relentless drive could push him to the limit, Jones believes Eubank's superior all-around abilities and experience will be the key factors in a fight that could go the distance. Jamie Moore highlighted how both Eubank Jr. and Benn are not just elite fighters, but also masters.
They know how to sell a fight, absolutely. Both of them, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. They know what they're doing, they know how to sell a fight, and everyone's talking about it. So job done. You know, I seen a thing that there was 120,000 people in the queue for tickets. So if that's the case, then phenomenal. And it's the type of fight where people who aren't boxing fans are going to be going, watching, which brings in a whole new audience, which is only a good thing.
Of fight promotion. He pointed to the staggering 120,000 fans in the ticket queue as proof of their ability to build anticipation. Moore emphasized that these high-profile matchups don't just appeal to hardcore boxing fans, but also draw in casual viewers, expanding the sport's reach. He believes this fight has moved beyond the traditional boxing audience, capturing mainstream attention and showcasing how well both fighters can sell a story. With the hype at an all-time high, this showdown isn't just a fight. It's one of the most anticipated events in British boxing history. The excitement surrounding this fight is undeniable. It's an evenly matched contest, fueled by intense rivalries and bold predictions. Both fighters bring unique strengths and challenges to the table, setting the stage for an explosive showdown. Eubank Jr.'s experience and size contrast with Benn's speed and hunger for redemption, creating a clash of styles that could go either way. The drama surrounding their father's legendary rivalry only adds another layer of intensity to this electrifying narrative. This is a high-stakes, action-packed battle that will have fans on the edge of their seats. Whether it's Benn's aggression and knockout power, or Eubank's resilience and technical prowess, the outcome is unpredictable. One thing is certain: this fight could change British boxing forever. Who do you think will come out on top? Let's hear your predictions.